All right, guys. So today's video is going to be a little bit different. Now, it is an audio device, which is obviously something we normally cover on the channel, but usually it's headphones, earbuds, or just like normal speakers. But today's product, which is the Monar Canvas speaker, this is a Kickstarter campaign that is just releasing today, I believe, that's blending art and it's also blending music into one device, and it's doing some pretty interesting things, which is why I actually wanted to cover it on the channel. I will have it linked in the description to get to the Kickstarter page. It does say that it's going to retail for $1,299, although I think they're going to have like an early bird price that's going to knock like $500 off. So you should be able to get this around $800 if you're interested. So the first thing is it is a 32-inch frame. It does have a 19-inch display in here that is a paper-like display, and that display being paper-like means you're not going to have to deal with reflections or things that's going to take away from how good this display looks. Now, as far as the actual speakers, it does claim to be studio-grade hi-fi speakers. They are using 6 total, and this is developed by a research and development team that provides speakers to Harman Kardon and also Bang & Olufsen. So they're throwing around some pretty big names here, but what they're using is a titanium dome tweeter. They're using a 98 by 30 like racetrack style driver that's handling the mids, and then they have 4-inch ultra thin subwoofers, which obviously is going to handle the bass. So that's what they have on each side of the frame itself. And the placement of the speakers, you kind of have a mixture of the back having the subwoofers, the side is what has the tweeters, and also that racetrack style driver that's handling the mids. And I think the placement of the speakers for the most part makes the sound very effective. It is definitely an arrangement of speakers that I feel like can get very loud. I never had any issue with like having distortion in the sound. I will say though, it does kind of have a slight hollowness to it that, you know, obviously you can't really look at this, I think, like as an $800 speaker, because I wouldn't pay $800 for this speaker setup. But then also you can't look at it as like an $800 digital display either, because I wouldn't pay $800 for a digital display. But it's what it's doing together that makes it unique. And you're really going to have to download the Monar app to really take advantage of what it's able to do. Obviously, this is how you would keep it updated, but you can change the display to what they claim is like 50,000 different, basically paintings, works of art, things that you can change within the display itself. So if you want, you know, the Mona Lisa, or you want the girl with the pearl earring, if you want Van Gogh, you want Picasso, you can go through like all day and just kind of go through all the different types of art that's on there, and then just have this display art just as it is, just like that. But there are features in here, and there's obviously AI, because that's built into everything now, that is also trying to make this unique. So you can go through, and there's 12 different live lyric themes. So it will just display the lyrics if you're using something like Spotify or Apple Music from your phone, because it does Bluetooth from your phone to this speaker. That is how that works. But you know, Spotify has the lyrics that come up. As long as that's there, the canvas knows that that's what's going on. And you'll see the lyrics kind of come across the screen, and it just, again, kind of fits whatever theme you choose to use. But there is an AI, basically like a feature where it will come up with a piece of art based off the lyrics of the song, and you'll see it kind of change throughout the song. I felt like this was kind of hit or miss. Sometimes it works right away, sometimes it's got a kind of a delay to it. So it is something, you know, again, I don't know if it's just because it's newer technology. It's something that works, I would say 75% of the time, and then 25% it doesn't. And if you're listening to something where the lyrics aren't in the song, like it's not embedded where it comes across on Spotify or something like that, then it has nothing to go by. So it's not going to create art to fit the song if it can't tell that there's lyrics already embedded in it. So also keep that in mind. But it is a very unique feature, and I did see some pretty incredible artwork based off some songs that I was listening to that it decided to create art for. And then you can kind of choose the style. If you want it to be like anime or pixelated or like a Chinese style, you can even have like the Picasso style. So there are different things that you can kind of tell it you want it to do the art based off that type of theme. But another thing that you can do is you can also go in and tell AI to create art on its own. Like, it has nothing to do with the music. You can just tell it that you want it to create this based off this and then this. It's just like as if you were to type into AI like on Google or anything like that. And it would just create artwork. And I've seen some, again, pretty interesting things that, it did, and I would actually display it. There's also another feature within the app where you can go through and have it do different relaxation or meditation type things, where you can hear the rain or the beach or even the fire and have it display like a fireplace. Some of it kind of seems like a little generic, but it's actually pretty interesting to go in and have a fire on the display and be able to hear the fire crackle, and it just adds to the environment around you. A unique feature, though, is the controls. Controls on the side actually looks like a little record player. So the record itself is the volume wheel, and then the arm is how you change the tracks. You just, click it forwards, backwards. It's kind of cool. Again, it adds to the music element of this. And as a fan of music and as a fan of art, when I saw that this product was coming out, I initially said, yeah, I have to check this out. I am very intrigued by this. And when you cover tech and when you mainly cover audio stuff, it's kind of hard to get excited about something new. And this is something new, at least for me. I've never seen anything like this. I think the display is really, really gorgeous. The Paperlight display just kind of gives it that feel like you have the actual artwork. It doesn't look like a cheap display. It doesn't have that glossy finish where like you just have to angle it right so that you don't have the glare. So there's a lot of thought into this product, and I think it is something unique. I am not familiar with the company Monar, but you can tell it's not cheap feeling. It is something that I would personally have no issue like hanging anywhere in my house, but I think it just looks cool right here on top of my shelving unit with my padding behind it. And it just, again, whatever the mood is, whatever I want to change the artwork to, or if I just want music to play and then just have it do its own thing, it's actually a product I find to be pretty interesting. And that's why I wanted to check it out. That's why I wanted to talk about it on the channel. And I think it's something, again, I think it's going to appeal to a lot of people. I think this is going to be a successful Kickstarter campaign. Again, if you are interested in checking it out, I will have it linked in the description. But guys, that wraps up my video on the Monar Canvas speaker that is, I guess, officially announced today. At $1,300, it's going to be kind of hard to recommend it at that price. But at $800, I think it becomes a little bit more appealing because of all of the different things that it can do. But thank you so much for checking out this video. Thank you so much for checking out all the other videos. And as always, make sure to stay tuned for more.